Hello everyone, this is Alex from Sign Builder Illustrated. Today I'm joined by Phil Dotson, the Regional Director of Operations for Poblocki Sign's Orlando operations. Phil, thanks so much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Nice to have you.
Absolutely.
As you guys know, if you've read signshop.com or if you subscribe to the magazine, Phil was one of 5 young sign makers selected out of nearly 50 nominations this year. The qualifications, of course, are working in the sign industry under the age of 40, and Phil was one of the honorable mentions, largely due to a pretty impressive, time-consuming, all-encapsulating project that you did in Nashville for NASCAR.
Yeah.
Could you walk the viewers through what that was? You basically had 9 weeks to take down 1,400 signs and replace it with 1,500 new signs.
Correct.
Anyone who works in this industry understands that's a tall task. So could you just walk us through your leadership skills, how you led a team to tackle this? Because not only, it wasn't even in your backyard, you guys had to travel in really long days to get that done.
Yeah, absolutely. What that project entailed, it was a NASCAR track that hadn't been used as a NASCAR track for 20 years.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate enough to win that project, and it was a full-on take the design concept is all we started with, take the design concept and turn it into actual product in the field before a race was showing up Father's Day weekend.
Yeah,
So
and
we had to literally on-site, get on boots on the ground, learn what was really in the field, every single sign,
yeah,
and go through the painstaking task and document every single sign, locations of every single sign, and
Yeah.
where they go.
Which of course, as everyone in the industry understands, opens Pandora's box to a degree, because not only are you worried about the safety of your guys, it's a new environment. You got to scope it out in the first place to even understand what's going on.
Yep.
What's your leadership style like? Are you someone who has a bit of an open door where your guys can come to you no matter what? They have a question. Classic managerial style that finds success in the sign world is you got to have your guys not scared to come to you with a problem, but also confident enough to make a decision on their own.
Correct. Yeah. So my leadership style is doors always open, 24/7, 365. With my team, I want to build a family. I want them to be empowered to lead and make decisions without me having to oversee every single decision. So I put them in a place of success, or put them in a place that may be a little challenging, but they have the skill sets or the team around them to utilize each other and build a family. I wanted family first. That was something that we can all trust in each other, something that we can build with each other. And strip out the title of I'm only a fabricator. I'm only a painter. We're going to be a group of sign builders. And as a group of people, we're going to make them.
So you like to empowering your workforce is always going to have a positive effect on the outcome of the work, of course. So in terms of the actual nitty-gritty, the technical work that you had to do, of course, removing the signage, people understand how that happens.
Sure.
Of course, it's very labor-intensive. As you told me, 12-hour days were not irregular. You were doing them all the time. Can you talk about how do you keep a team's morale up when you're not only are you not working at home, but you're going 12-hour days? Things are getting difficult. What can you do as a leader to help that kind of work in your favor?
First and foremost, be in it with them. Right?
Yeah.
Not be better than them, better than the work. Be in it with them.
Yeah.
I tell my team kind of embrace it together. We're going to work together on it. A mantra that we say is probably we say embrace the suck. This does suck right now, but embrace it together, and we're going to work through it. So spending that time with them. I'm out on the floor with them. My sleeves are rolled up. I'm building with them. I'm moving things along with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mentality that it takes, and it gets them bought into it. That, they're not just doing the task; they're committed to the work together.
Makes sense. And so, in terms of the actual production of the new signage, what was that process like? I know you have a facility in Orlando. You have facilities across the country.
Correct.
Was there a lot of relying on deliveries and things like that?
Yeah. So we utilized all 4 offices throughout the project. So Raleigh, Milwaukee, and Boston, and us in Orlando.
Yeah.
We also partnered with because it's in Nashville, so we had to partner with some local teams there for install capabilities and bodies on the ground and feet on the floor type of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it was challenging trying to coordinate materials coming in, coordinating product going out. checking off the list to make sure that yes, we got everything accounted for. Yes, it's installed. Yes, the quality's good. And, all the different things that go into a 1,500 sign project.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
Okay.
It's challenging.
And just for your personal career, a lot of our viewers might be younger. They're interested in really achieving what you've achieved, a managerial spot, an executive spot, where you're relied upon and you're kind of making sure things happen. Can you walk us a short story through your career, how you ascended up the ladder, ended up at Poblocki Sign, and just give us a little backstory on that?
Yeah. So I started in the industry when I was 17 years old. I was taught how to hand carve. We hand carved a lot of carousel horse heads.
Okay.
And hand carved sign foam and wood signs. Worked my way through that up through production, on floor fabricating, welding, painting, sanding, prepping.
So you were wearing all the hats.
Yeah, I was a sign guy through and through. Learned industry from bottom all the way up through. Never was too proud to take a role on or a task on.
Is that a really key thing to never be too proud? Always be willing to get your hands dirty?
I think for the industry, right? Like that's success in the industry, and I think that's what it is for me. Is knowing it allows me to connect with my team. It allows me to connect with the workforce. Now that they know that you've done it, you've been on the floor, you know what they're going through, you know the things they need, the tools they need, what life is like on the floor. It allows just camaraderie.
Yeah.
You're not just some voice up in the front office that has a cush job and just is pushing papers out for them to do work.
Exactly.
You know what they're going through.
I just spoke to Casey, who was another honorable mention, and she said the exact same thing. She makes a real point to be on the job site with her crew because she's like, I don't want them to think that I'm just sitting in the air conditioning, telling them what to do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So, if someone is a young person, say in their 20s, is like, I like this industry. I think I'm skilled enough. What kind of advice would you give them to take their career to the next level?
My advice would be just simply go for it. It's a wonderful industry that obviously has its challenges, but it's different every day. And if you're okay with learning something new every day, that's the thing that you need to embrace.
Okay.
And that'll take you to high places.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Just tackle the challenge in front of you. Everybody knows how to do something, but there's 10 different ways to do it.
Yeah, and from what I understand is, of course, no two projects are the same,
right.
But you may be inventing new ways to hang signage every single week. You know what I mean? Nothing is cookie cutter anymore. People want very custom work.
Correct. Yeah, and just for me personally, in the leadership seat, with my team, it's the guys that are out in the field putting the sign up. I take their feedback and I learn backwards from it. Likewise, we learn forwards from it. So and
of course your team recognizes that, appreciates it.
Correct.
When you're learning from it.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, and then just to kind of wrap things up here. We always like to ask people who are heading up operations, especially in Orlando. You have all the amusement parks, a lot of new commercial real estate, everything popping up. It's a popular place. What are you seeing in terms of new requests from clients, new possible sign technology out there? If you were to try to have a looking glass, see 4 or 5 years in the future, what type of installations are you expecting to see here coming up?
So specifically here in Orlando, business is strong. There's obviously, like you mentioned, tons and tons of things going on. A lot of folks are looking for the higher class or higher looking illuminated letters. Skinny, thin, bright.
It does seem that illuminated letters are hot right now.
That's the hot thing. That's what everybody wants. And if you dip into the monument scheme, world, it's still lighting. You don't want just the cookie cutter stuff. You want accent lights.
And Poblocki does a lot of monument work.
Correct. Yeah.
So when a client comes to you with a request for a monument, is it typically a rendering that they provide and you just have to mimic it, or are you mocking these things up for them as well?
A little bit of both. So you get some that will come with an architectural rendering that an architect put together and said, hey, this is the idea of what we want, or we'll get hey, we have no clue. We just want this thing that we all have this vision for, put it together for us.
So you just, when you're dealing with a prospective client, I'm assuming you handle with a very open mindset. they have something to offer, you can say, yeah, we can do it. If not, you draw it up for them.
Sure. Yep.
All right, perfect.
Yep.
Well, Phil, we really appreciate you not only taking the time to talk to us, but giving some advice to the young people in the signage industry.
Absolutely.
If you want to read more about Phil, it's on shineshop.com. You'll be seeing him later in the week at the Young Sign Makers Dinner, and we'll post that on LinkedIn. Thanks again for watching, and if you're at ISA, enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Alex.